it okay to do this? When is it okay to do that? When is it okay to be me? When is it okay to be black? When is it okay to do this? When is it okay to do that? When is it okay to be me? When is it okay to be black? First knee went down in peace. Second knee said I can't breathe. Guess which one made America mad? You guessed it, the first knee. When is it okay to do this? When is it okay to do that? When is it okay to be me? When is it okay to be black? When is it okay to do this? When is it okay to do that? When is it okay to be me? When is it okay to be black? First knee went down in peace. Second knee said I can't breathe. Guess which one made America mad? You guessed it, the first.
My name is Christina Curates, and I am the curator of Sunday Vibes, powered by the Groove Sweet Jacks. You will hear neo soul, R&B, and an eclectic sound throughout. It's definitely mellow vibes, perfect for a Sunday evening. Catch the mix Sundays at 9 p.m. and Mondays at 8 a.m. on the Sound of Duval. Hope you enjoy.
The Groove Sweet, Groove Sweet, Groove Sweet, Groove Sweet, Groove Sweet, Groove Sweet.
Larry Love, when is the next R&B Mostly? So, what is R&B Mostly? In 2015, yours truly, DJ Larry Love, was sitting on a couch and I realized that people thought R&B was dead. So I created a microblog to show people, obviously classic R&B, and to also show people R&B artists that exist today. 2019, we created our first event in Jacksonville, Florida. We've been kind of moving ever since. The idea is 80% R&B, 20% whatever else we feel like playing. Hip hop, soca, reggae, twerk music, whatever gets the people moving. So it's kind of an event flipped on its head. So R&B Mostly is an event. It is a microblog. It is a place where we promote R&B music, good music, and we make mixes to show people, show that style of music in its fullest form. My name is Larry Love, DJ Larry Love, and I am the founder and creator of R&B Mostly. Every last Friday in Jacksonville, Florida, we do our event, usually downtown at the Justice Pub, due to COVID. We've taken things online. You can find us on Instagram at R&B Mostly and on Facebook at R&B Mostly.
Dread like divas. Dread like divas. Dread like divas, located at 9951 Elaine Boulevard, Suite 410. Phone number 478-284-4055. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram at Dread like Divas Natural Hair Studio, where we specialize in all of your lock hair mixes. The choice is simple. Dread like Divas is truly the key to your life. Dread like Divas. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram at Dread like Divas Natural Hair Studio. Phone number 478-284-4055.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So, go ahead and download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Love Reigns, and I'm back for
a different version, a different episode of the Random Thoughts of Rain podcast. I am here during the Fly Socks and Tees 7th year anniversary. So congrats to Mr. Al Pete, MJ Baker, and everybody that's a part of the MPN network and, Fly Socks and Tees for 7 years of just awesomeness. So this is a part of that. So thank you for tuning in. And this is episode 17. And I'm doing something a little bit different on this episode. This is a 2-part series. And this series is going to be called Women Who Rock. So my first guest in episode 17 is the one and only Miss Loretta Porter. Hello.
Hello.
How are you? Thou art great. So, for people who don't know who you are, tell them who you are, what you do, and tell them why you're dope. Why are you a woman who rocks?
Okay, awesome. Well, in a nutshell, people know me on Facebook as Loretta Diane, my full name, Loretta Diane Porter. I am a serial entrepreneur.
I like that, serial entrepreneur.
A serial entrepreneur, and I'm dope because I go after whatever it is that I want in no regard.
That's what's up. That's what's up. You know what I love asking people that question. I love that pretty much everybody that I've asked that question to just literally jumped right in. And there was no question, no doubt. Oh, I'm not dope. You only think I'm dope. I love that people are owning their dopeness. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I'm dope.
That's what's up. So let's start there. How did you get to that point? How did you get to the point of, and we'll touch on the serial entrepreneurship, but how did you get to that point of owning how dope you are?
I have to be honest about it. I got to that point at a very young age. When I was a little girl, my aunt, because my eyes were like Chinese eyes,
Mm-hmm.
she called me Loretta Diane Hong Kong Porter. And for the longest, I thought that was my name. So whenever people would ask me, "Oh, you're so pretty, what's your name?" I would say so proud and so boldly, Loretta Diane Hong Kong Porter. And they would just look at me and laugh, and I would just smile like, whatever. I did not care. And even when I realized that was not my name, I still did not care. Like I got it from my family. Like they support me in any and everything that I do, and they've always made me feel like there's nothing that I cannot do. So
Yeah.
I've always had that feeling.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, your dad plays a big part in that too, right?
Yeah, my dad plays a very big part in that. A very big part of that. Yeah, I'm a daddy's girl.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Part of that. Yeah.
So has there ever been a time where like you said, "Dad, I want to do this," and he looked at you like, "All right, baby, I guess." Wow.
No. Every time I said I wanted to do something, it was just every time I said I'm doing this or I'm doing that. Oh, okay. They always knew whatever I said I wanted to do, no matter how outlandish it sounds, I was gonna make it work.
That's awesome. So what would you say to somebody who doesn't necessarily or who hasn't necessarily had that kind of support? How would you encourage them? How do you approach that?
Really, I would have to just say, it would also have to come from being strong and having a strong sense of self.
Okay.
Having a strong sense of self, having a strong sense of who you are.
Right.
Because not for nothing now, even though my family is very supportive, don't think, that the fears and the doubts don't come in.
Right.
Don't think that stuff doesn't come in. But even when that stuff does come in, it's just, I would say telling people just to having a strong sense of self and also having a strong relationship with God. I have to attribute a lot of my dopeness.
Yeah.
I have to a lot of that to having a strong relationship with God, and just knowing and understanding that His word never turns void. His word never turns void. So with God being the co-captain,
yeah,
I feel like there's nothing that you can't do. There's nothing that you can't accomplish, because that one bad situation that you had, you're not over that. No issue, no problem. And then once you change your mindset, that's what it really boils down to. Mindset.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's true. I'm grateful that has been my foundation. Like, that's one of the main things that my mom had instilled in me from a very young age. And even now I find myself reflecting and going back to that when I have those moments where I'm like, man, like, God, I can't do this, or I feel like giving up. I always hear my mom's voice, like, lean not to your own understanding. Trust God. God has you, no matter what. So in your serial entrepreneurship, first tell us how did you get to that point? Did you always know? I know that sometimes we, like me as an artist, I've always felt like I wanted to do poetry. I wanted to perform. Did you always feel like this was your calling to do everything that you're doing right now?
Always. I always felt like that. At a young age, my family jokes about this. I was 18, and when I went to file my taxes, I had over 12 W-2s for 1 year.
Wow. For one year, me and a girlfriend of mine, we laugh about it so much. Like, we would literally be at jobs, and we would be on lunch break, like, man, they want us to do what? I don't want to do this. I don't want to be here. Let's go. We would leave on lunch break. I always knew. Yeah. That I had to have my own. I had to make my own income, and it had to be multiple streams. I always knew that. So when did you make that leap to full-time entrepreneurship, and how was that transition? Well, I made that leap more than one time. The first time I made that leap, I was 20. How old was I when I had born? So I was 23 when I made that first leap. The first time I made that leap, it was a pretty easy transition because I didn't have kids. Gotcha. So it was a pretty easy transition for me. I became a mortgage broker. Then I had my own mortgage brokerage business. Then when the market crashed, I went back into corporate America. This time here, I would say, and this is the first time I'm saying this openly, I have been a full-time entrepreneur since January 27th of this year. Awesome. Yes, thank you. And this time it was a little more scarier because I have kids. Yeah. It was a little more scarier because it's all on me, and what I'm doing, it isn't a customer service based business. I'm an investor, so it is all on me. What I make is determined off of my efforts and what I do, and what I do alone. So it was a little scary at first, but then once I put my big girl panties on, I realized, okay, that's just, the inner forces, shut them hoes up. You have mouths to feed, and it was what I wanted. God gave me exactly what I wanted, exactly what I asked for, exactly what I spoke, and what I decreed He gave to me. Yeah. Wow. So describe that moment, like the moment that you said, you know what? I'm ready. This is the moment. I'm going to leave corporate, and so you said January 27th. So describe that feeling. It's actually pretty crazy because I set a date of March 27th. Wow. Okay. And if you remember, because you were supposed to be a part, that's the actual date the awakening was supposed to happen as well. Right. So that was the original date that I set.
It's like, okay, that is the day that I am leaving corporate America.
Mm-hmm.
And just to backtrack, the job that I was on, I was making $43 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So I was pretty comfortable. I was pretty comfortable in that job. But I just kept hearing a voice kept saying, you're comfortable, but don't get too comfortable. Don't get too comfortable. You're not going to be here too much longer. You're not going to be here too much longer. I just kept hearing it. I'm like, okay. And not for nothing, I loved what I was doing, underwriting. That's my passion. I've always been in the mortgage industry. I've always been doing something in finance.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it, but it was getting to a point where it was just like I was at the job and I was doing my work, but all I could think about was trading.
Yeah.
All I could think about was trading. So I'm sitting there doing my work and I'm making money. Sitting there doing my work and making money.
Yeah.
So it just so comes to happen that, you know, that date came a little earlier than what I thought, 2 months earlier than what I thought. And it was like, oh, wow, okay. All right. What do you do now?
Yeah.
And all I can say is it's been great.
Yeah.
It's been amazing. It's been a challenge. I've been learning how to trade now for 4 years. There were moments where I wanted to give up. There were moments where I cried, lost thousands of dollars. I mean, my parents even gave me money. So like, hey, look, trade this. Hey, I know you're gonna get it. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. But all I can say is, I'm forever a student. I'm always, perfecting and learning in my craft. But dear God, I made it.
Yes, dear God, I made it. Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. So with your multiple, so you mentioned trading with your multiple streams. So touch on that. What are your multiple streams that because it does say, like, I'm not the most religious person. Like, I know a couple scriptures here and there, but I do know that in the Bible it says that you should have multiple streams, right? Exactly. So what are your multiple streams?
So I do Forex trading, of course, and within trading, I have a couple of streams of income from trading. Not only trading Forex, trading cryptocurrency, and I just started learning how to trade stocks. So that's 3 streams of income within trading within itself.
Gotcha.
I also dibble and dabble in real estate investing, wholesale real estate. So that's another stream of income as well that I have going on. I'm a life coach. A lot of people don't know that. Specializing in mindset coaching. That's another stream of income that I have. And I also have, now I am an educator. I formed a group called Dope Chicks Invest, where I teach others how to trade in the Forex markets using my strategy called the 5-minute drip strategy, and that is another stream of income that I have as well.
And it's dope. It is dope. I am a part of that. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am.
It's definitely.
I have a couple of things, going on. I have a couple of other affiliate marketing things that I have going on. So I've always been a huge proponent of not putting all of my eggs in one basket. And from being laid off from previous jobs in corporate America, from being fired from previous jobs in corporate America, I've always knew that, the job was a resource. It was never a source, because just like I can get this job, I can go and get another. But my thing has always been freedom. It's always been time and freedom. I want to be able to be there for my kids. I want to be able to do things that I want to do, and I don't want anyone to tell me what I'm worth an hour, because I sat at jobs where I'm making $40 an hour, and here I am with a high school diploma, and I have a couple of college credit hours close to my bachelor's, but I'm sitting here next to people with masters, and how am I making more than you? None of this makes sense to me. Trust me,
I've been there. I've been there. I haven't taken that leap yet when it comes to corporate. And that's mostly because, like, I'm a year into the banking industry when it comes to corporate America, but my previous job in corporate America, I loved it. I was training. I was able to do whatever I wanted in my training class, and they paid for me to travel. I was between here and Canada and Washington, like all these different places I was able to travel. So I'm still, I'm getting there. Eventually I will, I'm following your lead.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with corporate. There's absolutely nothing wrong with corporate America. You have some people that absolutely love corporate America. Me personally, I just love being able to have that freedom and that flexibility. And for me, since I've kicked the W-2 to the curb this time, my goal is going to be never to go back on W-2. It's 1099 from here on out. And I can go 1099 in corporate, but it's still my terms.
Right.
I want to do things on my terms. I'm at that point in my life. I don't want to wait till I'm old to say, oh, I can do what I want to do. No. Right. I'm a big proponent of creating a lifestyle that I do not have to retire from.
That's true. I love that. So with everything that's happening, right? With quarantine and the pandemic and the Black Lives Matter and all of the stuff that's going on, how has that impacted your business or your businesses?
No, it hasn't impacted my businesses because with trading, there's never a bad market.
Mm-hmm.
The sports market is not like the stock market.
Right.
So it hasn't impacted my businesses at all. And then, I have low overhead because I do everything online. So I have no overhead. So it hasn't impacted it in a bad way. It's actually impacted it in a good way, because in this time of quarantine was when I really honed in and developed my strategy. And I had reached out to a friend to make sure, like, hey, check this out. Like, I want to make sure that, it's just not working for me. I want to make sure it works for someone who doesn't know anything about trading. See if this works for you. So it enabled me time to hone in on my strategy, and I started teaching. So I was able to pivot and adjust and develop a whole other stream of income through the pandemic.
Yeah, that's
to be able to teach others, which is one of my big things that I'm all about, teaching other people how to create generational wealth. Henceforth, my whole movement, Woman Unleashed. Mm-hmm. So this has been, it's been amazing.
Yeah,
it's been amazing.
That's awesome. I think it's like one of the things that makes successful people successful is having that attitude. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way that you can, of course, there's people who are successful who are extremely selfish, but in order for you to truly find success, I believe that you have to be willing to share that with people. You know what I mean? If you have all of this knowledge, why not share it? Why are you holding on to this knowledge, especially if it can help somebody?
And that's what it's about for me, because regardless, I know that I'm going to be taken care of. So for me, it's like, I asked for this and I said, God, if you show me this, I am going to show your people. I am going to help and show others. And that's pretty much what it is. Because I tell people all the time, like, you can take this, what I'm giving you, and you can run with it. You can surpass me. Just take the information, because it's real and it works and it's powerful. Yeah. So anybody that will listen, I'm going to tell them how to trade. I'm going to talk to them about trading and generational wealth, because we just should not be the last ones. This is a $6.7 trillion a day industry.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, exactly. Just give me just a little bit. Just a little bit.
I'm trying to get it all. Just a little bit.
Why do you think there's been such a surge in people wanting to get into things like trading and entrepreneurship, especially now?
I think because people are seeing and realizing, like, nothing is promised, nothing is guaranteed. Just as soon as, you kick the bucket, corporate America is going to have that job listing posted the very next day. And it's business. It's business, and I get it and I understand it. However, I think a lot of people are seeing that you need more than one stream of income. And people are seeing that you can pretty much, create the life that you want. I think a lot of people are getting to the point where they're trying to be a little more self-sufficient, more than being dependent. Because, that's what it's all about. Because you see, like right now, a lot of people haven't even gotten their stimulus. You have people that are unemployed, have been unemployed since March, haven't even got an unemployment check. And now they're trying to propose this new thing with the new stimulus. Oh, only for people that make 40,000, 40,000 below it. Come on, like really? Really? I think people are really trying to get to the point where they do not need help from the government. They don't need help from the government. They don't have to depend on the job. They don't have to, sit with, pins and needles in their stomach or waking up with the ball in their stomach. Morning because they don't want to get up and go to their job, or they feel like they're being attacked at their job, or they're doing something that is against their wills, against their principles, against their morals. Like, people are wanting to create a life that they want. Yeah. People are seeing different opportunities, and people's mindsets are changing.
Yeah, I agree. I think for me, I've what I'm realizing, and I've noticed it for a while, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. At this point, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw dinosaurs walking down the street with all of this shit that's happening. I really wouldn't, because there's nothing that, like, everything that has happened this year, it's almost like I'm not even surprised anymore, because these are things that you never in a million years would have thought would happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's only July. There's been so many things that have happened just in the first 6 months, the first half of this year. So it's so, and I'm realizing that it's all bullshit. Nobody knows what they're doing, really. From the government on, they don't know what the hell is going on. They so far removed, from even when it comes to local. It's all crazy. It's all bullshit. And I agree. I think that it's definitely time for people to step out on faith and really understand that God got you, and at this point, ain't shit else that can get worse.
Like, not for nothing, I thank God that, I haven't lost any family members, because I understand, COVID is real and it's very serious. I get that, and I understand that in this moment.
Yeah.
However, I have to say that I have a real strong sense of peace. Like, it's been very peaceful for me during this time. It's been very peaceful. Like, I've been, of course, in prayer, praying for my family, praying for my friends, but I've just had this strong spirit of peace. Like, whatever is going to happen is going to happen, but I am going to continue to live my life, because I understand and I know that this is not our war.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not. It really is not. So, and I have a strong sense of peace.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Yeah.
God got it.
I agree. I'm really the same way. I mean, I've been so cool with being, like, I've been seeing people and they're like really stressed the hell out. You know what I mean? Like, they are stressing. They're like to the point of making themselves sick. And I'm cool. I'm real chill. Like, my car broke down the other day, right? I sat in the car and I just started laughing. Because it's just like, hey, all right,
Okay.
Yeah, and it's like, whatever. I didn't feel like this sense of, like, the old me would have been like, oh my gosh, what I'm gonna do, and blah, blah, blah. Now I'm just like, whatever, man. It is what it is. I'm so cool. So what's one thing that, what's one piece of advice that you would give someone who is wanting to take that step, when it comes to stepping out on faith and entrepreneurship, what's one piece of advice that you would give them based off of, either lessons that you've learned or your experience? What would you tell them?
I would say, for one, first thing, write the vision and make it plain. Make sure you have it written out. Fear is gonna come. It is definitely gonna come. However, to combat that, when you are writing the vision and making sure that you are making it plain, make sense of it all. Make sense of it all. Don't just, say, get mad and, quit your job and say, God got me, and you don't have nothing written down. You don't know what you want to do.
Right.
Make sure, you have some systems, some systems and some things in place. Make sure you have, a little cushion because, income is, important to have.
Yeah.
Make sure you have, a couple of streams of income because that one thing that you have, going, they say it takes you about, a year or two to see profit from a business. Mm-hmm. However, there are ways where you can see a profit before then for your business. Yes, I trade, but there are also business ventures that I'm getting into where I will be opening up businesses. However, I decided to trade and become an investor first so that can actually take care of my household and fund my business ventures. So I think it's just a matter of, doing it strategically. Everybody does it differently. I'm not saying that the way that I do it will work best for everyone. Yeah. But I found that this has been very beneficial for me. Mm-hmm. So I would just say write the vision, make it plain, and do what works best for you. Yeah. Do what works best for you because there is no one way to skin a cat. Right. Trust me, there's not. Yeah. Because there are multiple books that you can read from multiple millionaires that have done it different ways. Yeah. So I would say find the way that works best for you.
Yeah. That's awesome. Shut up
all of the noise too.
Yeah. I mean, and that's a word right there in itself. Shut out the noise. From people, from all of the stuff that's going on, it's definitely important. So as we start to wrap up, how can people get in contact with you? If they're interested in trading, if they're interested in, the life coaching, how can they get in contact with you and how can they help support your vision?
Awesome. So they can get in contact with me through my Facebook, Loretta Diane, or the group. They can join the free group. It's called Dope Chicks Invest on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And how they can actually support the movement and support what is going on, even if trading is not for you. Mm-hmm. Refer it to someone else who, it may be for. I even have some college students that I'm working with right now, teaching them how to trade in generational wealth. I'm even getting ready to introduce this to my 13-year-old. So refer it out to some people who, you may know, and invite them to the group, so they can see what's going on. It's, it may click with them, it may not click with you, but that's how you can support the movement, just by telling other people. And there are plenty of traders that are out there. Just getting the word out, even if it's not me, because I understand and I know that everybody's learning style is different. And then I want everyone to understand and know that what I do is education strictly off of my experience, my tools, my knowledge that I have in trading. I'm not affiliated with any type of network marketing company. So you do not have to sign a whole bunch of people up to get paid. I'm actually teaching people how to actually trade for themselves.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me. And I'll make sure that I include all of the links and all of that in this episode. So any parting words?
I would just say, go after what you want with no regard, not giving a damn about who says what or who thinks of anything. Just, be your unfuckable self.
Yes. I have a t-shirt that says, smoke weed more, smoke more weed, give fucks less. Namaste. I appreciate you so much.
No problem.
Thank you all for tuning in to the Random Thoughts of Rain podcast. That was my interview with the one and only Miss Loretta Porter. Please make sure you support everything that this amazing woman who rocks does. This episode was sponsored by Dreadlock Divas. Check out their commercial right now.
Dreadlock Divas. Dreadlock Divas. Dreadlock Divas, located at 9951 Atlantic Boulevard, Suite 410. Phone number 478-284-4055. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram at Dreadlock Divas Natural Hair Studio, where we specialize in all of your lock, hair, mix, and sleeves. The choice is simple. Dreadlock Divas is truly the key to your life. Dreadlock Divas. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram at Dreadlock Divas Natural Hair Studio. Phone number 478-284-4055.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Love Reigns, and I am here to talk about fly socks and tees. Congratulations, first of all, Mr. Al, Pete, and the whole MPN family for 7 years of just awesomeness. I'm so happy to be a part of the MPN network. The Random Thoughts of Rain podcast is a podcast that I've been sitting on. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a while, and it actually came about from conversations between Nikki Giovanni and James Baldwin that I saw on YouTube. And I said, man, it would be really, really cool to be able to do something like that and have those kinds of conversations with today's artists and today's creatives. So that's what the Random Thoughts of Rain podcast is all about. I have an opportunity to talk to some of the creatives that I've been blessed to work with over the years, where we stand as creatives, so it's an amazing time. I have such awesome conversations with all of these creatives, and just stay tuned because you never know who I'm going to talk to next.
My name is Christina Curates, and I am the curator of Sunday Vibes, powered by the Groove Sweet Jacks. You will hear neo soul, R&B, and an eclectic sound throughout. It's definitely mellow vibes, perfect for a Sunday evening. Catch the mix Sundays at 9 p.m. and Mondays at 8 a.m. on the Sound of Duval. Hope you enjoy.
The Groove Suite, Groove Suite, Groove Suite, Groove Suite, Groove Suite, Groove Suite.
When is it okay to do this? When is it okay to do that? When is it okay to be me? When is it okay to be black? When is it okay to do this? When is it okay to do that? When is it okay to be me? When is it okay to be black? First knee went down in peace. Second knee said I can't breathe. Guess which one made America mad? You guessed it, the first knee.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So, go ahead and download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Love Reigns, and I'm back for another episode of the Random Thoughts of Rain podcast. This is episode 18. Being played during the Fly Socks and Tees 7-year anniversary. And I am so privileged and honored to be chatting with the one and only Miss Obscura Lux herself, Miss Cheryl McCain. Hello, Cheryl.
Hello.
How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Surviving this heat. Corona.
Listen, all of the above, right?
All of the above. Murder hornets. I got attacked today.
Listen, every day that you make it is that's a day to celebrate, for real.
Yeah, exactly. Especially in this day and time.
Exactly. So I know who you are and I know how amazing you are. So for the few people who don't know who you are, tell them who you are, what you do, and tell them why you are dope.
Why am I dope?
Yeah.
I think, no, I'm not going to say think. I'm dope because I am a photographer. Have the privilege of shooting a lot of amazing local artists. And I absolutely love what I do. And that's photography. So I think that's why I'm dope.
Awesome. Good. You definitely are dope. You are dope. So we'll start there. Like what got you into photography? Is it something that you always knew that you wanted to do and be involved in?
Well, I guess. Well, let me just start with this. My father was a photographer, and he just, he shot church events. Camera was always and forever in our face growing up, and matter of fact, my mom still got trash bags of pictures.
Mine too. What is the deal?
I don't know. Like, why don't you just go get a photo album? But still get trash bags of pictures. But grew up in front of my dad's camera. My dad absolutely loved photography. He had an amazing eye, and before YouTube University existed, he just had a pure natural eye for it. Now, me just being a kid, it's just like, oh, here we go again with this camera in my face. I didn't appreciate it. Well, just being a kid, but I did appreciate his work. When he leveled up, if you will, he got a Minolta X370, and he would take pictures of us, whether we're out in the garden, and even at our worst, he's taking pictures. But there's some photos of my mother, and if you follow me on Facebook, and you've probably seen her standing at the band shell in Daytona Beach with her red bell-bottom pants and her six-pack abs and white puffy little halter, I don't know what it was, this blouse and her afro, and it's for me it's iconic, and his composition was just amazing, and that was with a Polaroid 100, as a matter of fact. So but my dad had a natural eye, and he figured out how to use that 35 millimeter camera back in the late 80s, and I always admired his photography. And it wasn't until how I got into it, good friend of mine, Michelle Williams, shout out to Michelle, she gave me Pentax K2000. And I just started shooting here and there, and then I finally got brave and started posting them on Facebook. And I think it was Centauria who asked me to do some photos. I think it was MJ's, one of her, I don't know if it was an album release or something, but it was at Centauria's house.
Okay.
And I was nervous as I don't know what. And I truly appreciate those folks that took chances on me, and it really helped me build my skills up and that whole thing. Once she gave me that camera, I absolutely fell in love, and you know how you hear people like, and it changed my life. Well, no. Yeah. Can we curse on here?
Yeah.
Okay, that shit changed my life. So it absolutely changed my life, and I truly appreciate Michelle for giving me that camera, because when she gave it to me, I was like, oh my God, you gave me a whole kit and lens and and like, I can't accept this. She was like, oh no, and she truly blessed me with that camera. And after I graduated from Heritage Institute, because I was studying aesthetics, I was studying to clean people's faces. So I decided to go to Art Institute and to study photography.
Nice.
And I was a sponge. I was scared. I was nervous because I'm like, here I am at 40 years old, deciding to study photography, and there's kids in there that's probably been shooting far longer than I have.
Yeah.
And but unfortunately, life happens. My husband had been diagnosed with congestive heart failure, and he was in and out of the hospital a whole lot. He had open heart surgery in 2015, and the school ended up closing. And so, you know, but in between all of that, I truly fought hard to stay in the game. And, you know, I've only been shooting for 6 years.
Nice. Oh,
And-
I thought you had been like, honestly, I thought you had been like shooting since you were a kid, to be completely honest.
Well, no, you know what? My dad, so he did buy me a Polaroid at age of 12. And I don't know what happened to it. I think I let somebody borrow it and they never gave it back. And then my dad, like, I didn't borrow you no shit else, you know, probably. And so, but I do recall having that Polaroid up until maybe up into high school. So I did have it for a little while. And because I took pictures here and there on my DC trip, I don't know if maybe it was a disposable camera, I don't know, but
Yeah.
I have pictures from when I was in DC and as a kid. And here's the crazy thing about DC. This is really this interesting story. So I went to DC maybe 2-3 years ago, and the very spot that our 8th grade class stood in, I stood there, and I thought about it. I said, you know what? We went on this trip exactly 30 years ago.
Wow.
And I'm back in DC, and I walk from the Lincoln Memorial all the way to the Washington Monument. Then I see the White House to my left, and I walk over there to holler at Melania and Trump. And then I walked all the way around the backside of the White House, and then all the way down to the Capitol building. And I sat out there till about 10 something at night to get night photos.
Wow.
And I've got some pretty amazing photos, and I just threw them all on Shutterstock because I just sell them.
Yeah. So what made you want to start sharing it? You know what I mean? Because I know that like as creatives, a lot of times we'll create things, and sometimes it's not meant to share with the world. So what made you, you know, decide that this is good? Like I need to show the world my pictures.
Well, I didn't think it. I mean, I didn't. Some of them I didn't think that was that great, but other people thought it was great. But it was something I read in a book by Austin Kleon, and it's a book called Show Your Work. And I feel like any artist of any medium should read that book. And what good is art if it's not shared? So they kind of talk about that. What good is art if it's not shared? And this is how you discover, like, I can't remember her name, and shame on me, but there's a documentary about a female who was a nanny. And I think she was from Italy or France, somewhere from overseas, but she had a she had a twin lens camera, and I'm kicking myself for not remember, it's a Rolleiflex, I think.
Okay.
And she took thousands and thousands and thousands of images, and she had thousands of rolls of film that she just put away. And she passed away, and somebody discovered them or found them, and now they're making money off of them. So that's why I say, what good is art if it's not shared with the world? And then, you know what, and maybe you can inspire someone or someone else. So that's always been kind of like my philosophy.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I share my work. And maybe this sounds a little, some people may like it, and then some people may not. And either, well, I hate to say either way, I don't really, so if they don't like it, I don't care. If you like it, great, I love it, you know, and if you love it, I'm ecstatic. So
right.
That's the way I'll leave that. That's how I'll leave that.
Yeah. So with so one quote that I always like to talk about is, so I started this podcast based off of conversations between Nikki Giovanni and James Baldwin. And I felt that conversation was just very authentic. And it was just amazing to be able to see two creatives just talk and talk about their place as artists during that time, because it was done back in the 70s. So with all of the stuff that's happening right now, all around us, Nina Simone says that she feels that it's an artist's responsibility to reflect the times. So how do you feel about that? Like, how do you feel about that statement with everything that's happening right now, as far as your photography is concerned?
It's funny you bring up that statement because I've shared that statement before, and I feel like it is an artist's responsibility, and right now, especially for Black artists' responsibility, you know, art can be thought-provoking. Art can, you can make a political statement, and sometimes it may fly over people's head.
Yeah.
You know, as far as myself, being involved, for example, with Color Jacks Blue, shout out to Shawana Brooks.
Yes, that's out.
Right. And you know what, that you know, it's funny you asked that question too, because I've thought heavily on that. And I feel like I haven't done enough. And I'm kind of beating myself up on that. But
I know that feeling, trust me.
But honestly, I never really felt compelled to be out there on the forefront at a protest taking photos and such. There's other ways, even as a photographer, and I also consider myself I dabble in other mediums. That's a whole nother story, but whether it's being a part of Color Jacks Blue or sitting on a panel, which I have coming up with Film Art. It's a panel discussing Black women as artists.
Oh, nice.
And that's coming up sometime this week. And so I feel like I'm still doing my part in a sense.
Yeah.
Also encouraging young Black artists, you know, and also making the path a little easier for young Black artists, especially Black female artists, and especially Black female photographers. You know, my ultimate, well, I have some goals. I'll just put it like that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you overshare things that you are planning to do, you know, people swoop in like a hawk and they scoop it up and run with it. So, but I have some things in the works. I have some goals, which, oh man, I'm so excited. I can't, and I don't want to, I'm very excited. And there's some things coming. That's all I got to say.
So why do you think that that's extremely important? Like, you know, besides the obvious reason when it comes to Black artists or Black female artists, why do you think it's extremely important for you to do, you know, everything that you're doing, the goals that you have, everything that you have planned? Why do you think that that's extremely important now?
It's extremely important. So when I let me see, maybe a year into school, one of my former professors, Anna Kamiar, who is a local artist herself and photographer, amazing photographer here in Jacksonville. She is also like one person that has truly inspired me, mentored me, and also pushed me to be a better photographer. If I have to say, she's like the Debbie
Allen?
Debbie Allen from Fame, that character. She's that to photography, because but it's very important right now. And I feel like people are looking to the Black artists in the Black community, you know. I think people want to know, what are we going to do? Or looking forward to our work.
Right.
Because here's the thing, Black artists, we've always been documenting the fight and the struggle.
Yeah.
Even before all of this started popping off, I mean, we still, because guess what? It was always, police brutality was always going on. Discrimination is always going on. I mean, but now more than ever, I feel like, you know, people are looking to Black artists.
You are listening to the Random Thoughts of Rain podcast, checking out my interview with the one and only Miss Cheryl McCain. Now, stay tuned for a break brought to you by one of Cheryl's favorite bands, Stono Echo. Rest in peace, Peyton Locke.
Take me away. Show me what I'm living for. With gravity so great, can't buckle from the pressure, no. I'm flying anyway. Gravitate to great because I can see will never be my outer limits. I'll push past what's perceived. As long as I can breathe, I'll seek to reach the outer limits. The outer limits. What is my fate? Decisions make and break your car. Potential is great. See, life is what you think, then what make it rough. It's a mind state. Respect your inner space. Be careful. Contemplate. If thoughts can't break this earth, the atmosphere, you'll stay here. Cause in reality, the farthest I can see will never be my outer limits. I'll push past what's perceived. As long as I can breathe, I'll seek to reach outer limits. The outer limits. The outer limits.
This episode of the Random Thoughts of Rain podcast is brought to you by Rags Brand LLC. Check out their commercial right now.
Rags clothes? Well, all my friends wear boss brands. We don't wear any off brands. You can't call yourself a boss if you ain't wearing Rags brand. Rags clothes? You want to wear them? You gonna know you're fly when you're wearing it. My friends wear Rags brand. My family wear Rags brand. My whole team wear Rags brand too. Real bosses wear what all the bosses do, and all the bosses move with Rags clothes too. Rags clothes means nothing unless someone lives in them. And fashion is like eating, so you shouldn't stick to the same menu. Wear Rags clothes and allow your class to meet our clothes. I'm Tarsha, and this is my son Royal Asher. We would like to invite you to step into class when you wear our clothes.
To create, that's true. I agree. I completely agree. I think but it's also important too that we, I've been taking this time to really just kind of self-reflect and to be honest, hide out. I've been hiding out and I am enjoying every second of it, because it's important to rejuvenate and kind of recenter yourself so that you can create.
Yeah. Honestly, you know what, at the beginning of this pandemic, I think that's mostly what I've been doing, and especially when just the protests and everything, really and truly more so protecting my peace.
Yeah.
Because I've had 4 years of it's been a struggle in these past 4 years, just personally.
Yeah.
And so I think part of me was just like, I'm not at the right place right now. I'm just really getting into this peaceful state of being. And so just like you're saying, like now you're, once you have gotten your fill of it and you're centered and, it's all about timing and there's a time for everything,
Yeah, that's true. Do you have a favorite picture that you've taken?
Oh. Oh gosh, you know what? Okay, so that's hard because I do have I want to say a top 3.
Okay.
And do they have to be in particular order?
No.
All right. So of course, in the top 3, of course, Jihan and Chris.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, that picture was beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so powerful.
Right, and for it to be seen by Essence.
Yeah.
And you want to know something? And
congrats on that, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. And so before I posted on Facebook and Instagram, if anywhere I knew it was going to get really a lot of attention, would more so be Instagram, because I feel like hashtags are a little more powerful on Instagram than Facebook. And I said, please let Essence see this. Please let Essence see it. I just kept repeating it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, send. Then Chris Clark was like, at Essence. And he in the comment, and I was just like, oh, and he has like thousands of followers.
Yeah.
And so, and the story of how we found out about this, it's like 11:30 at night. Chris was like, yo, did you see this? Like, somebody's trying to claim your work. And I'm like, what? And so, if you go on a web page and if you go on your phone, graphics and text gets a little shifted.
Yeah.
Well, the picture, the Essence cover that someone else made above me, her name shifted right above the image.
Gotcha.
And I said, so I don't know. I got excited. No, I wasn't upset, because obviously somebody else saw this and say, hey, Chris, isn't this you?
Yeah.
And then he was like, yeah, that's me, but hold up, who is that trying to claim this image? So he hit me up. And then so I'm sitting there like, okay, I went on to, I don't know why, generally it's like Google first, right? But I went onto Facebook, and then because they had Essence Challenge couples. So I put that in the search on Facebook, and boom, this article shows up, and it's from Essence. So I was like, okay, take a little break. Let me see who made the list.
Yeah.
You know, trying to be a little hater. No, I'm just kidding. But so I'm scrolling through the list. It's like, oh, okay, that's cute. All right. Okay, they did that. All right. You know, I was like, okay, why did I get down to 8, and then I scroll to 9, and it's like, I just start yelling. By this time, it's 11:45. I'm pretty sure my neighbors heard me, and my husband, he's up there. What's going on? You know, and it was in the top 10 of the. It's like 16. They had 16 of them listed, so that's how I found out. But I had to reach out to Essence in order to get the credit.
Yeah.
And also I want them to acknowledge Chris and Jihan, because at the end of the day, and I'll tell anybody, I just took a photo.
Yeah.
All of that is their energy. You know, and a lot of people's like, no, you're great. No, you know.
But it still takes a lot to have the eye. You know what I mean? Like, one thing I've always been jealous about when it comes to photography is the eye that photographers have. I'm I try to like turn the phone sideways, and I don't have it. I don't have the same.
Listen, it's I don't know. I always say like it's easy, and I don't want to sound like arrogant when I say that.
But it is. We all have our lanes.
Yeah, we all have our lane. And you know what though? Even when I was in school, and I was contemplating leaving a couple of times, and Logan Zawacki, he was he taught advanced lighting, and he also, and his wife Abra, is great photographers, and they're creatives as well. And shout out to Logan. And he said, you definitely got an eye. He said, if you leave school, you definitely be successful. I have no doubt in that. So those little nuggets always, kept with me, and appreciate them for it. Yeah. And it's all about composition. It can be taught, and I think it can be taught, and it just have to be it'll eventually become second nature. Yeah, and
I still think that you still have to have like some kind of, there's something that's innate about it too.
Well, I mean, it's understanding composition, understanding lighting, and also understanding your equipment and what you're using, what its limitations, what it can and cannot do. Yeah. And you're talking to somebody that don't have expensive equipment at all, but I find a way somehow. Yeah. And I feel like photographers feel like they got to have, you got a $5,000 camera, but you can't shoot worth of shit. But we ain't gonna talk about that.
Right. And see, I don't have the patience. I don't have the patience to look the lighting, and I ain't.
I tell you what, love.
No,
I'm gonna give you. Come on, I'm gonna give you a class.
I'm gonna give you a class. If you take a picture, I can write a poem to it. That's what I do.
Yo, listen. Okay, collaboration.
Let's do it.
I haven't done a solo show yet, so.
Hey, listen. Okay.
I have not done a solo show yet.
We gonna talk for real.
Okay.
Because I've been thinking about that. I'm so serious. Like, I'm dead ass. We gonna talk. Yeah. We gonna talk more about that. So, as what's one thing that, if let's say you have an aspiring, photographer, especially a young Black girl who is interested in photography or the visual arts, what's your advice to them?
Oh. You know what? My advice is focus on your craft. And pun intended. The reason why I say focus on your craft, because what I observed in this short 6 years being in the art community, there are actually many Black female photographers in Jacksonville, and they're very good. But what I observed, certain male photographers that I have approached, crazy ass thing, is some of our own people. They kind of pat you on the head and say, "Oh, is this your little hobby?" Or, so focus on your craft. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Don't worry about what other people are shooting. And stick with those that are willing to share knowledge. What good is knowledge when you don't share knowledge? Because we wouldn't have schools. Knowledge is needed, So stick with people that are willing to take time out and share knowledge with you. And I have every intention of doing that, especially in the memory of Gary McElwee, who was my mentor, and I assisted him and helped curate his rock and roll show last year during the Cork Studios, Open Studios.
Oh, nice.
It was held at King Street Studios, owned by Rick Weller. Shout out to Rick. and rest in peace, Gary. I was shook. He passed last week.
Wow. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So I woke up, and within minutes I get his text messages letting me know he passed away.
Yeah.
That morning. And so he was an amazing photographer, and he and his wife devoted their life to creativity. So, and they stayed focused. So that's why, if those nuggets right there I can give any young male, female photographer, non-binary, shout out to my non-binary people too. I gotta get it in there.
Hey, listen, I appreciate you adding that. That's need more of that.
And so those, I can't stress it enough, because if I was worried about what other people are doing and or trying to do what everybody else do, I wouldn't have done the things that I have done in these short 6 years. Not that I say I've done a lot, but I don't know where this thing is going to take me, but hey, take me all over the world. That'd be great.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I mean, it's already starting, and got their eye on you. So how can people support you? How can they, if they're interested in purchasing some of your work or viewing some of your work, how can they get in contact with you, or, just support you in general and help support everything that you're doing?
Okay, so I am on Facebook, Obscura Lux Fine Art. That is on Facebook. I do have a page. I haven't really updated much on there, so shame on me. I'm also on Instagram, and that is Obscura Lux Fine Art on Instagram. My website is still in process because I want to be able to set up to sell prints and such. And my goal is really focused more so on the fine art side. I said about maybe 2 years ago that I wasn't going to shoot other people, for commercial wise, weddings and that sort of thing. But and as a matter of fact, I want to make this announcement now. After, as of today, I'm not booking anymore. Those that I have spoke with, their dates still stand and such, But because I have Color Jacks Blue, and then there are other pending projects, personal projects and such, I've got my irons in the fire, a lot of them right now.
Gotcha.
So I need to focus on those things, and I'm gonna try to focus on those things.
Gotcha. Well, I appreciate you so much for sitting down and talking to me. And I'll make sure I include all of your contact information so that people can, support you.
Yay, thank you.
I love you so much, and just thank you for just always being so dope and authentic. I appreciate you.
Oh no, I appreciate you, because I think this is like maybe my second interview. Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
yeah,
I'm happy.
Yeah, so I'm honored. Thank you, and thank you for thinking of me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you, and man, just keep going, keep pushing, and sky's the limit for sure.
Oh, I always say sky is never the limit.
You know what? You're right.
I reach beyond the stars.
You're right. You are absolutely right. I need to change that. I'm gonna change that right now.
That's right.
Well, thank you so much, Cheryl. I love you, and please give my love to your husband.
All right, sure will.
All right, take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Have you subscribed to this podcast yet? What are you waiting for? Go ahead and do it right now. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow us on all of your social media stalking apps. We appreciate your continued support of not only the Random Thoughts of Rain podcast, but everything I Am Love Reigns does. We truly, truly, truly appreciate you. So make sure you spread the word. Make sure you continue to support us, and make sure you stay tuned.
Larry Love, when is the next R&B mostly? So, what is R&B mostly? In 2015, yours truly, DJ Larry Love, was sitting on a couch, and I realized that people thought R&B was dead. So I created a microblog to show people, obviously classic R&B, and to also show people R&B artists that exist today. Fast forward to 2019, we created our first event in Jacksonville, Florida. We've been kind of moving ever since. The idea is 80% R&B, 20% whatever else we feel like playing. Hip hop, soca, reggae, twerk music, whatever gets the people moving. So it's kind of an event flipped on its head. So R&B mostly is an event. It is a microblog. It is a place where we promote R&B music, good music, and we make mixes to show people, show that style of music in its fullest form. My name is Larry Love, DJ Larry Love, and I am the founder and creator of R&B Mostly. Every last Friday in Jacksonville, Florida, we do our event, usually downtown at the Justice Pub, due to COVID. We've taken things online. You can find us on Instagram at R&B Mostly and on Facebook at R&B Mostly.
When is it okay to do this? When is it okay to do that? When is it okay to be me? When is it okay to be black? When is it okay to do this? When is it okay to do that? When is it okay to be me? When is it okay to be black? First knee went down in peace. Second knee said I can't breathe. Guess which one made America mad? You guessed it, the first knee.